These two men disagree. In their mind, a process is taking place that leads to polarization. Polarization is always a thought construct. It arises when people start thinking in terms of us and them. By doing so, they pitch two identities against each other. Clearly, the two men have strong convictions about each other. For the polarization process to develop, fuel is required. Without fuel, it would stop. So, what is the fuel for polarization? The best way to give rise to polarization is to engage in talk about identities. One side will make judgmental comments on the other, and vice versa. In the process of polarization, people can play different roles. Our first two characters are called the pushers. They stand on opposing poles. They constantly add fuel to polarization by making the opposite pole suspect. They try to recruit as many supporters as possible from the large group in the middle. People who choose to support a pusher are called joiners. They are convinced that their interests are at stake, and therefore their choice to join one of the two camps is justified. The very diverse group in the middle is opposed to polarization. They react to it in different ways. Some are indifferent, some are highly nuanced, and some are neutral. In an attempt to resolve these issues between the two sides, we often see a bridge builder stepping onto the scene. He believes that both poles have a limited view of things and wants to create dialogue between them in order to foster greater understanding for each other. But the bridge builder achieves the opposite. His efforts add fuel to polarization because he talks about the identities of the opposing parties. In doing so, he goes along with the thought construct of the pushers. The bridge builder provides them with an additional stage to push their ideas and fan the flames of polarization. When the media step in, they also add fuel to polarization. Time and time again, they offer a platform to the opposing parties to speak about the other. The voice of the people in the middle gets less and less attention. As a result, more and more people feel forced to choose for one of the two poles. The middle group is gradually drained. By and large, society is split in two. The poles move further and further apart. Positions become black or white. Everything that could be perceived as grey becomes suspect. In this situation, with rising tensions, those who are still in the middle easily become scapegoats. Ultimately, this can lead to war, like it has done, for instance, in Rwanda, where more than 800,000 people were killed over the course of 100 days. A strategy to diffuse polarization requires understanding of the dynamics of the process at an early stage. Interventions to depolarize should strengthen the middle group. More is achieved by investing in this group than by trying to build bridges between the poles. But the middle group is not very visible, especially when the media don't pay much attention to them. They must be strengthened and enabled to remain nuanced, because the people in the middle hold the key to defusing polarization. Instead of talking about each other's identities, the aim should be to change the subject and to change the discourse. By telling their stories from different perspectives, both in visuals and in writing, journalists can change the tone of voice. Instead of speaking in terms of right or wrong, they can go beyond the identity talk of the pushers and help develop a language of the middle. By aiming for balanced reporting, the media can play a major part in turning around the dynamics of polarization.